Hello everybody, this is Paul Neeson, your health watchman, and today on the show I want to discuss the reaction we got to the interview I did with Tim Kelley about how we are to dress on the Sabbath at the Feast of Tabernacles in Missouri for Season of Our Joy. Now, Season of Our Joy is a group that is, or a camp that has been in Missouri this year, at least for the last couple of years, that puts on one of the biggest gatherings of the Feast of Tabernacles in the United States, maybe even around the world. And he has people come, and some people will camp, some people will bring their campers, some people will stay in a tent, some people will stay in a lodge, some people stay in a motel. They have all of these different facilities on the property. And I went there last year for the first time, and I was very pleased with the modesty standards that Mr. Kelley had for the camp. And not only did he tell people they got to follow what he personally believed was a modesty rule, but the camp itself was a Christian campsite that we were using, and they had their own particular rules on modesty and some other topics as well. So with respect to the camp, Tim Kelley said, okay, here are my rules and ideas and suggestions, and now here are the camp's rules and suggestions. So since we are at this camp, we have to follow those rules and suggestions. And one of the things we were discussing in the video is how to dress on Shabbat. And Mr. Kelley believes that we should not be wearing blue jeans to the Sabbath at the Feast of Tabernacles. Also on the first and last day of the Tabernacle Feast, which is supposed to be a holy Sabbath unto us as well. And that's his belief. And he explained some of it from a scriptural point, some of it from an everyday life point, from an attitude point of why he believes we should not be wearing blue jeans on the Sabbath. And if anyone hasn't seen that already, you could just go to the link below the video right now, and you can click on that, and you could see the video interview I did with him about this. And some people were in agreement with him, and I am in agreement with him to a degree, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But it seemed that there was a big negative response to what he had to say. And these people were saying that he's making up a commandment, and nowhere in the Bible does it say that we can't wear blue jeans on the Sabbath, and just going on and on. What about poor people? He's keeping poor people out of the Sukkot feast, and all these, I'll be gentle and say, excuses. I think Mr. Kelley had it right when he spoke about an attitude, and somebody to look at this in a negative way in general, I don't believe is showing the most righteous attitude in the situation. Look, folks, you know, in my house, I don't want people to come to my house and have their shoes on. I prefer for people to take their shoes off before they come to my house. Now, when it comes to the Bible, I like to tell people, look, if it's not in the Bible, I don't want to hear about it. And there's nowhere in the Bible that says before we walk in somebody's house, take your shoes off. I have my reasons why I don't want shoes on in the house. And you know, people that come to my house, they understand that, and they come to my house and they take their shoes off. They don't run around the neighborhood telling everybody, I can't go to his house because I refuse to take my shoes off. No, we respect the person who is hosting us. And just like Mr. Kelley is respecting the camp and following their rules, for example, there's no alcohol allowed at this Feast of Tabernacles celebration, and I'm really pleased with that because I personally don't believe in alcohol anyway. But there's no alcohol at this celebration, and Mr. Kelley enjoys alcohol. I'm not talking like he's a drunk, but he enjoys drinking some wine or a beer every now and then. And so if he wants to do that during the Feast of Tabernacle, he'll go off the campsite, maybe to a local restaurant or something, and have a quick beer or something. But he's not going to bring alcohol on those premises. Why? Because he's respecting the host, the person or the group that's hosting him. And that's the biblical attitude we need. We can disagree, but if we're going to show up, we show up and we follow the guidelines. And if we're not going to show up, we don't show up. But there's no reason, when there's so many other things as believers we can be speaking about, there's no reason to go and just tear this thing up and for reasons that aren't, in my opinion, even good reasons. I mean, some of the excuses or reasons we have is one of them says, what if a person can't afford slacks and they only have blue jeans? Well, I don't think that's a very good excuse or reason, because as far as I know, I don't wear jeans personally. And I think I don't have a problem with people wearing jeans, but I think their jeans should be so much under their clothing that we shouldn't know they're wearing jeans. So I think all the time, jeans should be an undergarment. Now, people might say, well, where in the Bible is that? You're making up a command. You're making this thing up. Look, I don't think jeans are modest. They show off the crotch. And yes, even loose jeans will show off the crotch. They'll show off the butt. And I don't think they're modest. And I think if somebody wants to wear jeans, they should wear a shirt over those jeans so we don't know you're wearing jeans, especially tight jeans. But that's my feeling, my opinion. Now, do people come to my house and they wear jeans? Yes. Do I kick them out? No. But if I had a big sign on my door and I called them before they came and said, look, if you come to my house, don't wear jeans. And if they wanted a reason and I gave them a reason and they still came to my house and wore jeans, that is a rebellious attitude. And that is one of the attitudes that Mr. Kelley is trying to talk against or move against. It's a rebellious attitude. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to his Sukkot if you don't believe or agree with him that we shouldn't be wearing jeans on a Shabbat. Maybe you can go there and have a discussion with him, or talk about the idea amongst your family or something. But you know what? If you are going to go there, do it with a happy heart, not with a rebellious heart. That is an issue. I want to respect and thank Mr. Kelley for telling people in advance, so far before, this is how it's going to be. Because people have that choice. Look, if I don't like it, I'm not going to show up. But if you like it, then show up, and show up with a happy heart. But don't go show up and be grumpy about it. Now, if you say you can't afford jeans, I promise you, and I know for a fact that I haven't bought jeans in a long time, but I know slacks are cheaper than some jeans. As a matter of fact, I can go down to Goodwill right now and buy dress pants or any type of pants other than jeans for under $5. So please don't tell me you're going to show up in a Lexus or a Mercedes-Benz or even a Toyota or a Honda, or you're going to fly from halfway around the country to go to this Sukkot event and you don't have $3 for a pair of slacks. And if you really truly don't have the money for a pair of slacks to wear 1 or 2 days out of a whole week, if you really don't have that money, I can't speak for Mr. Kelley himself, but I believe if somebody would call him up or anyone up with a true and honest heart and say, me and my family really want to be there. We have just enough money barely to buy food. We had to quit our job to come to a Sukkot feast, and we don't have any money at all, but we really, really desire to be there, and we want to be there and be obedient. We want to honor our guests. So if you have an issue with us wearing the only pair of pants that we have, which happen to be blue jeans, can you find it in your heart to give me $5 so I can go to Goodwill to buy a pair of slacks, or ask some of the other 1,000 people that are showing up if they might have a pair of slacks that I could borrow that week so me and my family could show up? Look, folks, I go to a lot of different Sukkot feasts, and many of them cost money to go to. This one is free. Mr. Kelley doesn't charge any money for people to show up there. And I'm I don't want to say upset, because everyone could have their own opinion. And like I said, I'm in agreement with people that say, look, there's no command that says we have to do this. And I'm all for people that think and believe. If the Bible doesn't say it directly, well then, it's a person's opinion. I understand that, and I'm not against that. But when you start saying things like, what if a person can't afford it, or he's adding to the commandments, or he's making this rule to keep poor people out or something, I think that's taken a little too far, folks. That's just taking it, I'd say taking it way too far. First of all, in the discussion I had with Tim Kelley, he gave excellent examples, in my opinion, about the attitude somebody has when they go to a job interview, or when they go pretty much to a special event at their local church or something. They get dressed up. They don't get dressed down. And I think he did a good job explaining himself, not trying to convince people that they need to be in agreement with him. And from what I recall in there, he gave ideas in his viewpoint of situations where certain priests and other people had to dress up different on particular occasions. from my recollection of the interview, I don't believe he called it a command of Yahweh and said if you don't follow that command, you're going to hell, which some people replied in that video to do so. So am I 100% in agreement with Mr. Kelley about not wearing blue jeans on the Sabbath at Sukkot? And by the way, he didn't say you can't wear blue jeans on the Sabbath if you're hanging out at home with your own family and you're fellowshipping with your own family. We didn't even discuss that topic, but we're talking about a big gathering here. And I like one of the examples he gives. You go to a wedding and, you go to a wedding and you want to dress up a little bit different. Now, do I agree with him or not? I don't think jeans are modest at all. And we didn't really touch on the modesty aspect of it as much as I would have liked of in the interview. But for the whole aspect, if it was me and my camp and my event and I was hosting, I would have said no jeans at all for the whole week. How do you like that one? So and I'm sure there are other people out there that will agree with me. And I'm not just talking about only for the women. I'm talking about for the men also. If you want to wear jeans, wear them as an undergarment. Is that a command? Absolutely not. Is it a command not to reveal our body to the opposite sex or reveal our body to the world? Our nakedness is not just uncovered. Our nakedness is the shape of our body. What do the designers of jeans do? Well, I mean, this discussion doesn't even have to be for tight jeans. If you call yourself a believer and you think it's righteous or okay to wear tight jeans, you are completely, absolutely wrong. But what about loose jeans? Are loose jeans okay? Are they comfortable? Listen, folks. Mr. Kelley believes jeans are okay to wear. He wears jeans. He doesn't have an issue with jeans. Some people will say for their occupation they have to wear jeans. If they're out doing construction or something else, they have to wear jeans. Again, I have no problem with people wearing jeans if they use them as underpants. At least wear a long shirt to cover the area of your crotch area. Can you at least do that? And I do have an issue with women that will wear a really, really tight jeans or these tight, stretchy leggings, and then they'll wear a long shirt that is equivalent to the size of a mini skirt, but they're still revealing the shapes of their legs. Pretty much they look like they're wearing a mini skirt. And it's just something that as believers we don't need, and we certainly don't need it on Shabbat. And I want to thank Mr. Kelley because when I'm worshiping on Shabbat, I don't want to see women walking by me in jeans. And could he have just said, well, wear loose jeans and don't wear tight jeans? Yeah, that would have really went over well with everybody, right? Look, as you can tell, I have a lot to say about this what he's saying, but my response and reply here is not to criticize the people that are replying to his message or not to criticize his message. My point here is to say, if you are going to come with a righteous attitude and follow the rules of the host, and if you don't agree with the rules of the host, then don't come. You're not shutting anyone out. It's not like this is the only tabernacles celebration in the United States. There's a lot more out there. You know, you have freedom to go anywhere else. So, Mr. Kelley's not excluding anyone from coming to tabernacles if they're poor. Rich people can't wear blue jeans also at Mr. Kelley's thing. And people have enough money to $3 to get a pair of slacks. And if they don't, come on, you can't get a pair of slacks for this feast. Let's have a righteous attitude, everybody, and let's be more righteous about this, and stop saying that he's adding to the commandments. He never claimed to be adding to the commandments. He said, in my understanding, in my view, this is what I'm taking away from this. This is what I'm thinking about. I think that we should be set apart. We should have a set apart attitude. Before you even have something to say about, a couple of people replied, they said, well, I couldn't even watch the whole interview. I was so disgusting. And then they'll give a reply of why he was wrong. Well, I thought he gave excellent reasons to understand what he was talking about. And I didn't think he was wrong at all. I thought it was fine what he said. And I think it's fine what he's doing. And he's the host. And that's how he wants us to dress. And if I don't want to dress that way, I'm not going to go. But I'm certainly not going to waste my time talking about crazy things like, oh, I wear dress clothes all week, so does that mean I can come dressed naked to Sukkot? Or come naked to the tabernacle, that'll be different and that'll be set apart. Come on now. That's the craziness some people are doing. Look, whether you agree with my ideas of biblical modesty or Mr. Kelley's ideas of how to celebrate the Shabbat or any ideas, they're ideas. The scriptures do speak for themselves. And does it say anywhere in the scriptures that on the Sabbath we have a particular dress code of how we are to dress, what we ought to wear, what we are not to wear? I haven't found that in the Bible. Does it say we are to have a particular attitude on the Sabbath and places of worship? Absolutely it does. It gives it through examples all throughout the scripture. And our attitude has to be a holy attitude and a set-apart attitude. And we want to be different that day. Make it more special than every other day. Not the other days are any less special. Every day we should worship Him. And every day we should put on our best for Him. But when you're going to an event like this and on a holy day like this, what is the harm of getting dressed up a little bit? What is the harm of dressing up a little? I mean, I've been to mega churches all around the country, and there are women showing off their breasts. There are men wearing tight jeans. Who knows how they're breathing in these jeans? And some people I even have the audacity to come in shorts and a tank top. Now look, if a prostitute is going to walk off the street never knowing anything about the scriptures and it's stirred up in her heart to walk into a church, they have no right to tell her to leave because of the way she's dressed. If somebody that is dressed in modest or something decides to do that, they have no right. If that's their first time ever stepping in a place, they have no right. But you know what? If you're going to a place on a regular basis, and if you're preparing to go to a place like this, and you're getting ready, and you've got instructions to follow, and you are not in a situation of, boy, I never did anything like this, and I'm going in this blind, that's a different story. But if you have the instructions and the guidelines, if you have the information, stop claiming that it's not scriptural and showing a rebellious heart. Honor your host, folks. And it's a great thing Mr. Kelley is doing. So, I am not necessarily supporting anyone's opinion or going... Well, yes, I am. I'm supporting his opinion. But I'm not calling it scriptural to give me a scripture and show me where it is. But I'm calling it a scriptural attitude. And that's the attitude we have. So, I just can't wait to see the replies I get to this one. How many of you I upset by saying I don't think jeans are modest? That's my idea. It's my opinion. Look, let me explain it this way. I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegan. I don't eat any animals at all. I don't desire to eat animals at all. But I could have friends that eat animals. I could fellowship with people that eat animals. I don't have an issue with people that are eating animals. It's what I'm doing. But if I'm putting on a vegetarian party and I say everyone that comes, we can't be eating animals for this party, and somebody comes and bring an animal, get out. You're not supposed to be here. This isn't for you. Your attitude is not along with the attitude that I want for this celebration. Finally, I'll say the fruit is in the result. And from what I can see of all the Sukkot around the United States over the last several years, Seasons of Our Joy has the biggest, or Season of Our Joy has the biggest, or the largest amount of people that go there year after year, and I think it's for a reason. And I'm excited to go there, and I feel a relief that I can go there and walk into their sanctuary on a Shabbat and not have to worry about people wearing skin-tight clothing and just dressing down and not giving respect to this special day. And again, if somebody hasn't seen this or they can't afford it or one of these other excuses or reasons, he's given more than enough ample time for people to go and research it and find out. And what more can we say about it? I mean, I think I said my opinion. Everyone shared their opinion under the video. Again, I'll put the link here under the video. I'm not saying these things to upset anyone. I'm saying we all have our own ideas. And thank you, Tim Kelley, and to your wife, Miss Kelley, for standing up for what you believe to be right according to Scripture. And I pray that everyone could have a great attitude for their host. And I look forward to seeing you at Shabbat. Until then, everybody, have a great day and shalom, shalom.
Come out of the world, oh my people, seek the truth, avoid the evil, learn Yahweh's ways, Torah Life Ministries, come out of the world.